There's an old saying: the rich get richer, the fat get fatter, the bloated get bloateder. Now I need about 100 more subs before the end of the week. I'm trying to hit 5,600 subs. 76% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed, man. If you one of those people, I'm gonna definitely be under your bed tonight, and I'm gonna mess you up, dog. So hit that subscribe button. So it's coming out now that AEW is getting all the free agents, man, and I must say I'm happy for them. Do I think that this is gonna change life? No. And those free agents, Mercedes, they got Okada, they got Will Ospreay. That's great for them. That's great for them. But we've seen them sign massive superstars, and pardon the pun or pardon the wordplay there, but we've seen them sign massive wrestlers, and it doesn't change life. And I always hear why do we as fans care about ratings and stuff like that? I care about ratings because it shows what works. It shows, it kind of justify how I'm feeling, because it's the stats it's the stats that show, like, all right, this is what matters. This is what people actually watch. This is what people actually like, because it shows that there is a such thing as a vocal minority. And I don't know if you noticed, the person listening to this video, the people who like AEW is being exposed now that they are the vocal minority. The people, the Dave Meltzers of the world, he is the vocal minority. If you're like me, you grew up thinking the wrestling you was watching was not that good. And at times, yes, it wasn't that good. Yes, there was some Roman Reigns matches that were god-awful. Yes, there was some John Cena matches that were god-awful. But it's kind of being exposed now that the wrestling that they was hyping up is god-awful as well. And that's my biggest beef with AEW and his fans is, I grew up thinking that Dave Meltzer was that guy to go to. I thought he was the end all be all. I thought his ratings mattered that much. Now it's just, it kind of got exposed, man. It's like, this is what you like. This is what's better than Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. And now they these same fans are trying to diminish what Undertaker meant to the wrestling business. Then don't get me wrong, the Undertaker hasn't aged well in his philosophies and and the things he feels about what should be backstage. But in terms of on screen and performance, that man is a goat. That man is a goat, man. And I apologize to Sting, and I know that AEW fans are going with their guy who just sold them out a pay-per-view, but Sting doesn't touch Undertaker, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't give me a match that's better than WrestleMania 25 or 26. So, it's a lot of tribalism, and honestly, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It forces us as fans. It forces even people who watch from the outside who root for both companies, because believe it or not, I do root for both companies. It forces you to pay attention. It forces you to do your research. It forces you to look at the history. And the more I look into the history, it's all been bad, man. It's all been Circus Soleil, if that's how you say it. It's all been circus acts. It's all been gymnastics. Again, I always say, man, if y'all want gymnastics, go watch Simone Biles in the Olympics. I'm good, man. And yes, they getting all these free agents, but what does it mean? The biggest free agent will forever be CM Punk, and look how they did him. You got Edge. He's a mid-carder now. You got Daniel Bryan. He can't stay healthy, and he's doing his matches. He's putting on some of objectively, Daniel Bryan is putting on some of the best matches every year. But it does nothing for business because you're still losing $35 million per year. Because people don't care. People do not care. People will not care about, to the fan, the AEW fan that's listening right now. If the story isn't there, if the story isn't watchable, people do not care. People have to care about the wrestlers performing. People have to care about look at the WNBA. You know why the WNBA isn't successful? Because people don't care about the players. You know why people you know why the NBA is successful? Because people care about LeBron. People care about Kobe. People, God rest his soul. People care about Jordan. People are invested into these people. You know why the NFL is successful? Because people care about Tom Brady. People care about Travis Kelce. People care about Taylor Swift. People care about Pat Mahomes. Nobody cares about the Young Bucks, bro. I know nothing about the Young Bucks. I know that they're married. I know that they're nerds. But I know nothing about them. You know why people care about Kenny Omega? Even me? Because I know about him. I know he's a gamer just like I'm a gamer. And he's more of a gamer than I am. I know he's a self-admitted nerd. You know, he doesn't try to not be a nerd. He embraces that. And that's somebody I can get invested into. I love Daniel Bryan. But he really has no character. It's hard to invest into him because he has no character. He just puts on great matches. Like, okay, if you want to be Luka, cool, but you're not going to be a superstar in the league as in brand. You're not going to draw ratings as in brand. And Luka may be a bad example because Luka is someone who is so talented, in fact, that he does draw ratings, and he, like, you know, like Daniel Bryan has never been a cover of a video game, and that's for a reason, because he isn't somebody who, like, you're very much invested into. The only reason I know what I know about Daniel Bryan is because Total Divas. You know, we have to be invested in you as a character, and you could be as talented as ever. But I'm not gonna rush to see you. I don't care about Cody Rhodes because he's a magnificent performer. I care about Cody Rhodes because he has a story. Sorry, I know we're beating that to the ground, the story thing, but let's be honest, that's what it is. We care about the story. Tony Khan is the face of AEW because he has a story. Tony Khan is the face of the company because we can relate to Tony Khan. We can all see ourselves within Tony Khan. As much as even you, the AEW hater who's listening to this, you like Tony Khan because you relate to Tony Khan because we are fans of wrestling, and we all would start a wrestling company if we had dad's money to do so. That's why Tony Khan is the face of AEW, because he's the biggest character. He's the biggest face. He gets people talking. He's relatable. For bad or for good or for bad, you have to build characters. And ironically enough, Tony Khan is not good at that. He don't even know what makes himself the biggest face in AEW. You know, I just Heyman, Adam Page, he just seemed disingenuous. They all seem disingenuous, and it's hard to invest in these people. The reason I was so invested in a Samoa Joe is because I've watched Samoa Joe, and he has equity with me, and he has a story of someone who was, you know, not necessarily let down, but someone who could never reach the top. And I want to see him reach the top, and I want to see what he does at the top. You know, that's an investment emotionally. That's going to keep me tuning in. I'm not going to tune in for great matches. I'm not just going to tune in for great matches with no story. I'll catch the highlights. You're not going to just tune in for games with no, you know, emotional investment. You'll just catch the highlights. You know, and it's going to be the same with Okada. It's going to be the same with Mercedes. It's going to be the same with Will Ospreay. I know nothing about these people except Sasha, excluding Mercedes, because, you know, of course, most of us, you know, we all know Mercedes given the fact that where she was and where she worked previously. But Okada and Will Ospreay, they're not going to be game changers. And yes, that's amazing that they're superstars in other countries, but you don't make money from them other countries. You know, TV deals aren't looking for, your leverage isn't in numbers in other countries. You know, it's what matters. What matters is what you're doing in the United States. And in the United States, you can't assume that we all know who Okada is. You can't assume we all know who Will Ospreay is. And that's they treat every fan like they're a quote unquote smart fan who pays attention and who is a diehard fan. And you know, that's amazing that there is a niche audience for those people. I mean, not a niche audience, but a niche product for those people. But you're going to stay stagnant, if not, you know, drop. In which they have been dropping. I'm assuming they lost more money than ever last year. And I know for sure, I'm assuming that they lost more money than ever last year, given the fact they lost $35 million, estimated $35 million. But we know for sure that ratings are dropping. We know for sure you're consistently having low ratings. So, you know, that's where you're going to be, and it sucks because, again, who's going to want to start a wrestling company after this? WWE needs competition, and I say this. Y'all disagree with me when I say WWE needs competition, but think about it like this. A lot of y'all came to my channel because y'all CM Punk fans like me. CM Punk would not be back in WWE if it wasn't for AEW. I will repeat, CM Punk would not be back in WWE if it was not for AEW. I'll leave it at that. We need AEW. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Again, 76% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. I need 100 subs before the end of the week. Hit that subscribe button. Have a beautiful night. Are y'all watching Monday Night Raw tonight? I'll see y'all. Have a beautiful night. Sub to Act. Peace.